Welcome to Psychic Evolution with evidential psychic medium Jamie Clark and spiritual coach and healer Maggie Clark.
And welcome back to another episode of Psychic Evolution. I'm Jamie Clark.
And I'm Maggie Clark, and this is the podcast where you discover the psychic potential within to empower yourself and manifest your psychic and mediumship gifts.
And these abilities are so natural, they're supernatural.
And today we are so excited to bring on Peter Benson. He is going to be part of our Starseed Awakening retreat this summer in 2022 in Phoenix, Arizona. And he brings to the table Tensor energy tools. And Jamie and I know very little about this technology, so we are craving to hear more. We know it involves sacred geometry and copper wire and mathematics, which are all really fun subjects. So we're just going to jump right in. Welcome to our podcast, Pete. And how does Tensor energy tools actually work?
Thank you for having me on. It's greatly appreciated. The Tensor energy tools are really kind of interesting. I came acquainted to them about 7 years ago now, maybe even more. Math is not that one on that one. I started researching Slim Spurling. And Slim Spurling found out that through twisting wire and cutting that wire length and then brazing it back onto itself in a specific length, which he used was the cubit length in the Great Pyramid. So there is a stanchion that's 72 inches tall and it's 20.6 inches in perimeter. And basically he used that 20.6 inches in creating a tensor ring. And that tensor ring ended up being very powerful. And he found out that it was resonating at 144 megahertz. It was actually a resonant frequency of hydrogen. He found out through use and experimentation and people using these that it actually helps heal the physical body.
Wow.
He had instances where he was healing bones and other stuff very, very accelerated. Really. So it works on the physical body, that particular frequency that he was working with on that. And then they found a bunch of other frequencies in there, him and Becker. He found the lost cubit, which was working on the emotional body, the etheric body. And that one was really, really powerful, where if you sit in that particular ring, like a 2-meter one, when you sit in it, that one will actually help you purge emotional stuff like really, really quick. So these rings are exceptionally powerful. And since their time, there have been other users of this technology because Slim Spurling open sourced all of it. What he did at that point, other people have come out and actually found out they've dowsed or channeled or in multiple ways have come out with all these different frequencies for rings. And so far we have more than like somewhere around 13 different rings right now. And I have a few that have come in that I need to actually test out.
Nice.
So that's a type of technology.
So what does the ring look like?
Let's see. This is a extremely small version of one.
Okay,
Nice.
Listeners, if you're listening to this on your podcast app, you might have to go to YouTube to watch this.
Yeah.
What we're looking at is it almost looks like a bracelet size, and it looks like braided coil.
And that copper?
Yeah, it's basically a copper wire. It's one wire. It's actually brought out over length, and then it's folded over on its other, and then flattened out.
Nice.
And then twisted clockwise for positive spin. And then at that point, once it's spun up, you cut it to the length of that cubit, whichever one you're working with. And then you basically braze it back onto the wires back onto themselves. And then when you do that, the energy just turns on.
Wow.
Yeah. And Slim Spurling has 2 books out. One was a biography and then one was an autobiography. There are 2 different ones. And in those books, he actually had it tested out by engineer at Lockheed Martin and another engineer in Germany. And they've realized that this thing has like room temperature superconductive energy. It's like they're so powerful, but they have no field to use it because it's more of a healing energy towards the physical body, and it basically empowers you. So you got to figure the powers that be don't want to empower you, so they don't want to research this technology too much or at least release it to the public.
Right.
That one. Yep, that's exactly right. And I think you bring up an interesting point, and I'm seeing what looks like might be some of the technology in that pyramid right behind you.
Yes.
Have you created any designs to allow you to channel even clearer, more frequencies, more
yes.
amplified?
Yes. Actually, the pendant that Vivian is wearing, I don't have it up here right now. She wears it all the time. It's actually a multi-dimensional Archangel Michael pendant. So this is the Archangel Michael, and this one's using the lost cubit right there, so you can see it.
Beautiful.
Right. So that one has all the stones in it, the turquoise, green mica, selenite, and the 5 crystals for the Metatron shielding. So that shields your entire field.
As you're tapping in with that for Archangel Michael, does that open the channel for the angelic realm to connect with other angels, other archangels, and other universes?
The thing is, I don't know, because I am connected to the angelic realm anyway. My soul source is there. So I end up having that connection kind of automatically. And I had the channeled message from Metatron to create the anklets. And then I converted that into a pendant through necessity and urge, and it came out with a decent design.
Very cool. Ooh,
yeah.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah, these are extremely grounding and shielding. These basically turn your torus field into like a sphere, so it turns into a shield instead of a field. So you're not allowing any energy in.
And can you explain to our listeners what the torus field is, so they have like a really good understanding of that?
I think everybody that's actually been in the spiritual world, or at least in our environment, has seen, the 7 chakras light up, and then they show you this big overarching field that goes around this giant donut energy field around us. That's the torus field.
Great.
So what the anklets do is basically, you have that open at the top and bottom. It basically caps those, puts a cork in it, and basically you end up removing all of your energy inside of that. So it basically blocks out all of the excess energy in your area so that you don't feel it. So the emotional energy of a room you don't feel. It's not necessarily a shield. It just kind of restricts it from coming to you energetically.
Right.
So
almost like seals it off.
Yeah. I kind of have a funny feel. It turns your field into a shield. It's just one of those
things.
Like that. It's not really a shield. It just kind of restricts that energy getting to you.
And this could be extremely valuable for a lot of our listeners that are developing their gifts, but are really super sensitive in their environment. Like, what can I do? Because most of them don't want to turn their gifts off. They want to keep their gifts open, yet they don't always want to feel all the emotional components that they feel with their empathy.
Or wearing everyone else's energy.
And and wearing other people's energy. So this actually, the pendant and the anklets both, they're like the type of tools that you would wear all the time just to continually keep a really clean energy field?
Yes. The anklets block everybody else's energy from getting to you. So if somebody's having a bad day, you don't feel it. Now, if you choose to, these are intention tools. You can actually, with your mind and intention, go out and say, ooh, yeah, never mind. Thank you very much. I don't want any of that. So when you're in a conference, right, I have those on and I can see people as they walk by and I can tell where they're at and who they are, kind of. It's not necessarily, it's not the life story kind of thing, but you can actually feel their energy and say, okay, yeah, they're not going to even look this way, and you can see it. They just walk by and completely don't look at you. When you're sensitive and you're actually protecting your energy field, you can actually utilize your gifts, and it makes it easier to utilize them. So the anklets really help with that. The thing is, they're anklets, and a lot of people don't like that. It's kind of a thing you put on your ankles, and it's just kind of a little bit big.
With the bracelet or the anklet or the necklace, do each of them vibe with their own power point? Or is one more powerful and radiant than the other? Are each one, no matter which one it is, equal to the empowerment? How does that work?
The anklets have a different modality to them. So the anklets are made from a tensor ring that's called the unity ring. That unity ring creates a grounding effect. So when you put them on, immediately you feel like you're grounded. And it's just an effect of that tensor ring. So look at your energy field as a torus, and your energy is coming through your body and grounding out. Now, that's like what I'm articulating it as is, let's just say the unity ring shrinks the column of energy coming down through your field, and it actually forces your energy to alignment. So it aligns your chakras as you're wearing them. and it grounds you.
Now, does that go for all of the chakras, the inner and the outer chakras, or how does that work? Like the oversoul chakra, that kind of stuff?
We don't know.
Okay.
As far as I know, it's going to work on all the energy in your field. But as far, I mean, we haven't tested it out to the nth degree on it. We know that our 7 basics, maybe even our star chakra too, will help center that out.
Excellent.
The anklets do a grounding, balancing your chakras, and also, as it's doing that, it also captures Taurus and turns that into a shield, right? If you wanted to do a like a Metatron pendant, and that's this one here,
that's gorgeous.
It's a little bit different,
yeah,
and it has the same crystals in there. So it's got the morganite, tanzanite, tiger's eye, black onyx, and lapis lazuli. Those are the 5 crystals that create the energy field that these are made from.
You bring up an interesting point. For me, do you or are you, because each one I believe has its own specific frequency or its connection, can you build one piece that includes all of them, that unifies all of the channels?
Kind of like something like this.
If that's what it does, yeah. that's because for me, if you can tune into one channel, you can tune into them all. Then you can get that frequency modulation. Then you can start to know who, where, what it is, and what vibration is coming from that. And in that, as you were saying, because I've got an insatiable hunger. But with the intent, I believe you were saying that this technology is working with a lot of the intent. In that capacity, with the safety mechanism or the protection, can you have that as an intent that you're safe, yet it radiates love, compassion, empowerment to others? So
think of the shielding effects that the anklets, the pendants create. Now, that is basically going to let your vibration maintain your vibration. So if you're radiating at a high vibration, you're going to be radiating that energy without any blockages, right? Through intention, you can tell the pendant or the anklets something that you want it to do on top of its base modality. So you shield yourself. It's going to help balance your chakras. And let's say we're going into a conference and we have a lot of people in the room, right? And it's like, oh, good gracious. Okay, shield me from anybody that would do me harm, or make me invisible to anybody that would do me harm, right? Whether it's energetic or physical, anything like that. It just makes you invisible.
Right.
We've actually experienced this directly, both Vivian and I, with that intention before, make us invisible to someone to do us harm. We were under an energetic attack.
What happened?
Back in, I think it was 2018. We were up in Sedona. Viv and I were driving around, and Viv got under a energetic attack up in Sedona. And I had my big pendant on, and I told her to put it on and tell it to make her invisible to anybody that do you harm. And as soon as she put it on and put that intention on it, the attack instantly stopped.
Beautiful.
Well, if they can't see you, they can't attack you.
Yeah. And, that's actually something that I learned how to do with my own energy field without any technology. But it's really cool that, the people that don't necessarily know how to do that yet or haven't learned how to do that yet can have help and assistance to get to that point with their energy level so that they can have that direct connect of being invisible when they need to be, or shielding to the point where any negative energy that's being consciously directed at you, they can't even find you.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. The way I kind of describe these tools is, these are obviously there in the ether. These are designs have been there, and we're bringing it into physical form. Now, considering where we're all going and our vibrations are increasing and and everybody's at a different rate. These tools are not supposed to replace what you're fully capable of doing. It's like they're intention training wheels. They allow you to learn and understand who you are and what you are as you gain knowledge and understanding.
Can you connect with future yous and the technology of what's already there in the ethers?
Possibly. I haven't had a chance to do that one yet. I'm still trying to get everything done.
That's beautiful. And I think that dynamic is important, because when you have the flexibility that you can have the intent put within it and then let it vibe with it, for me, there's also, because I'm lazy, I try to make it easy. But within that, for many, many years, I share the fact that I would wake up every morning and I'd turn on the music, light the candles, do my meditations for about 30 minutes, and then I was psychically mediumship on. And after many years, I asked my master guide, Chi, is there anything I can do to help me speed this up? because I feel like I'm freaking working from the time I get up. And he's like, well, yeah, Jamie, you know how when you get up and you turn on the music, light the candles, do your meditations, and then you're psychically on? I said, yes. He's like, okay, once you've done all of those steps and you're psychically on, train how it feels to be psychically on, create a white button in your mind. And as soon as you push that, you're right at that psychically. I went from 30 minutes to 30 seconds with the same end result of effective open receptivity.
Yeah.
Can you do that with the Tensor technology? Meaning having that beautiful piece on, vibing with exactly how it feels, and then in training so that even when you don't have it on, you have it on.
I don't see why not.
Cool.
Yeah, because once you remember, this is your intentions. So if you understand how to do this and your intention is already there, you can put it on and keep me in the vibrational state that I'm in now. Well, I mean, it'll allow you to actually raise your vibration as you go. It'll actually allow you to maintain that at least.
And when you think about the implications of what you just said, you would never get tired, right? You'd have enough energy to always live your life. It would probably help against any type of lower vibration illness, potentially speaking. Of course, none of us are doctors. We can't diagnose or treat or blah, blah, blah. However, this could be something that really could support us energetically, raise our vibration so that we didn't attract some lower vibration types of experiences. A lot of us doubt our intentions. We'll set out an intention of, okay, I'm going to be super, super awesome and energetically charged all day. And by 5 o'clock, we're yawning, we're, looking for a cup of coffee or some sugar. And so we don't trust our intentions sometimes. So this is one of those tools that helps us actually gain trust that our intentions would work as well.
Yes. What I've found is what these will do is they will allow you to be yourself and keep your vibration as high as you want to, or high as you're able to maintain for as long as you can. Now, when you keep your vibration high, that does draw a lot of power. If you're not used to that vibration, it will make you tired.
Right.
But what this will be able to do is it'll actually keep you from getting tired from absorbing everybody else's energy around you, or trying to, through intention or through your personal shields or however you want to do it. If you have to keep on resisting and pushing and pushing and pushing, that's going to draw energy away from you as well. So, I mean, you have to look at it from multiple ways. And we are a energy being, but if we're expending all of our energy, we will be tired. So we have to find ways of actually trying to utilize our energy more efficiently. So by utilizing tools like this, it'll help you protect your energy. That will actually save your energy on a defensive side.
Yeah. I've always been in this mindset of having unlimited energy. It's just, that's how I function. Yet there are times that I know, okay, I'm depleted, or I need to recharge, or I need to not be doing as much, but receiving maybe a little more, because there is that yin yang balance of the universe that we go through. And this is kind of cool. It gives you just another layer of armor, so to speak.
So I want to touch on one thing. So there is a tensor ring that I do create. It's called a black hole or a energy vortex ring, right? And it's a one-way torus field. Okay. So the energy goes in one side, so it'll actually draw out energy. So you stand in that and you tell the ring, draw out the energies that I have absorbed or that are not mine. And you stand in it until you understand, okay, that's enough. Then you step out of it, you flip it over. Then you step in it. And then if you just step in there for a few minutes, you'll actually feel it. The energy starting to climb your body, up your up your shins, up your thighs, up your chest. And then you'll feel your crown chakra just start tingling. And it's like you can feel like a battery meter charging up. It'll actually recharge you.
Excellent.
Awesome. Now, do you sell those on your website too? Because all I saw were the pendants and the anklets. So not yet, but you're working on it potentially. And you do custom orders, right? Yes,
we do custom pendants right now. And the custom pendants are based off of the Metatron. So you'll end up with a base shielding pendant. And through your higher guidance, you can pick other crystals to tune how you want your body to respond. So if you're we've had natural light, we've had celestine, we've had all these super high vibration crystals where you can add it to it. So you can get keep your vibration super, super high and stay shielded at the same time.
Beautiful. I think you bring up an interesting point to me. And that is, I believe it's been referenced that you don't really have to know all of the aspects within it. The Tensor technology will be effective at facilitating itself. with the technology of the intent, because the Arcturian language of light, can you create that technology to be able to read that Arcturian language of light more effectively, more efficiently?
So what Viv and I are doing right now is we're working on the creation of starseed pendants.
Cool.
They have all these different frequencies for rings. Some of them are bigger, the size-wise, and it's all a frequency, octave of it. So if it's one is here, half will be here, quarter, and they're all going to be that, a 1% part of it. So depending on what size they are. And then we're trying to have some sort of symbol or a letter in whatever language it is, and then what crystals are supposed to be in part of that. So it's the energy of the ring, it's the crystals that are involved, and it's also the symbol or letter that's in it, based on light language or whatever.
Right.
And then from there, it's basically designed for that particular race. Orion, Arcturian, Andromedan, Palladian, doesn't matter. We're working on those.
Good. Can you frequency modulate that too? Can you connect with the Arcturians, with the Pleiadians, with all of these different extraterrestrial channels and get that technology of unification?
I don't know. We're going to have to work it.
Yeah.
That almost sounds like an intergalactic space council ship in a pendant form, right?
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be beautiful?
Yep.
Well, you have to, it's like, I love the idea. And that's awesome. And we do have a pendant that's actually the Sedona Red Rock one that's on the website. I have to actually create a few because we have orders for it.
Cool.
And it has red rock from an Arcturian vortex.
Beautiful.
And they're super crazy high vibration. And those are like for those that really need to enjoy the high vibration, these are like kick-ass. There's no shielding involved unless you put the intention of shielding on it, which you can do that anyway, right? You can put an intention for shielding. But this is a high vibration pendant. They're really cool.
Well, and for anyone out there who really resonates with the Arcturians, that would be speaking their language, right? That would be like, I need that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, we're going to be doing probably another run of maybe I'm thinking about 20 more pendants, and then we're out of the actual rock for that area. And then next time we go up, maybe if we can get there, we'll get some more to actually do some more pendants with it.
With the ability and the intent, because for myself, I say I'm lazy. It takes no more energy for me to send love and light to a person than to the all that is.
Yes.
Are we able to unify that? Because for myself in the purification aspect as well, those thoughts affect the cellular structure of water or the molecular structure of water as well. And Dr. Masaru Emoto. Now, with you channeling and being on these frequencies, that's thought patterns vibing through your beingness, through your cellular structure. Are you starting to hold those vibrations of all those different channels and starting to create new channels of unification?
What's coming through is some really unique ideas for pendants that are going to be coming in. It's one of those things when you start seeing synchronicities. It's like, okay, this is the next thing. Here's a synchronicity over and over and over and over again. Okay, you're going to be doing that. And the next thing you know, it's like, okay, that's the idea. I write it down. And then I wait for the actual connection to come in and say, okay, this is what's going to be in it. This is what's going to be, and then I'll get the information as it kind of comes through. So that's how the pendants tend to come in as far as what they're going to be utilized for. So it's just like what you're talking about is I believe that we're all capable of connecting to the highest, to all of it. It's like we're all empathic. We all have the capacity. We've all been dealt with, with this toxicity in our environment. We have to overcome the toxicity in our food supply, which we have to overcome, the water supply we have to overcome. We have a lot of things to overcome in our environment. So in order for us to actually really start to vibrate higher and do what we need to do, we have to manage all of these different aspects of our lives, whether it's food, our water, and all that. And now, as we start to gain and understand energy more, we're actually trying to understand that, but we've really never been trained or understand how any of it really works. So we're walking through, a minefield of, don't do it that way. Go over here.
Of greatness too. It doesn't have to be scary.
Oh, no. It doesn't have to be scary. It's just one of those things but you do have to understand that there are dark energies out there that will try to give you this little carrot and start veering you off on the wrong direction.
But can you put the intent of only the true energy vibe of what the beings are that are productive? That way you don't even have to worry about the destructive, or how does that work?
What we do is, because of who Viv and I are, we tend to keep our vibration really, really high. We still get interference. And regardless of what we put up, they're always there to do something. So we just have to be vigilant, and it's discernment. And that's one of the things that we really need to start, clarifying for ourselves is discernment. It really is. It's one of our superpowers. It's, we have we have our sight and we have the other stuff. Discernment is another one. And in order to really understand where people are coming from or their energies are coming from, that's one of the benefits of the tools is you can shield yourself. Now you're going to feel your own vibration, your own energy without interference of anybody else. Right. And that's what they do. So it allows you to understand you. Once you understand you and you're in another environment and somebody you come in contact with, you can actually understand their energy and they feel okay, but there's something not quite right. What? And you may not be able to figure it out, but at that point, it's like, okay, I'll keep you at a distance because I don't know what it is.
For the amplified energy, could you just maybe send that positive, like whatever channel that you're on, send that energy intent to another person to allow them to radiate, or to a location to allow it to reorganize its energy if it's kind of toxic or oddball? Is there unlimited abilities to use that since it's pure energy?
That one is kind of a trick question. I love it. So who we are and what we're capable of has really not been defined yet. Right. We know we're capable of a lot more.
So much more.
Right. Yes. So, and I understand that we are energies of light. But when it comes to trying to change other beings or other places, you have to be careful of creating karma in the process.
Can you just put unconditional only if they accept it? That way there's no manipulation, but co-creation?
You might be able to, but again, if it's a place, you have to be careful, because if it's a place and it's created by somebody to do something else, you might be creating karma with the individual who created it.
Could you put them all as existing at the same time? That each person, if they even choose to tap into that, can tap into it, and it's always there waiting for them if they choose?
What I would say is, instead of trying to change the place, just send it love and light, and just basically just send it there. Don't try to change it. Just send it love and light. That way you're not changing anything. You're not creating karma with the environment or the individual. You're just sending it.
Right. That's my one caveat with all the energy work that I do. No matter if I'm sending or receiving, it's always in love and light for the best of all concerned. And and the reason we say the best of all concerned is because I don't know what's best for you or your soul or your path, or maybe a contract that you have. There are so many dynamics that we're not always 100% aware of. So this is one of the things with energy work and with whatever we send out, whatever we're asking for, whatever we're influencing. It makes no difference. We send it in love for the best of all concerned, because we don't want to harm ourselves or other people without knowing it.
Oh, exactly. In my life, I've had to deal with a lot of contracts that I signed coming into this lifetime. And it's like I bumped into these different people and they created this controversy and this problem, and I learned from it. And after I went through it and I look back at it, I'm like, oh, cool. Thank you. It was a pain in the ass, but I learned it. Thank you. But it's one of those things, and it changed my direction, and it starts bumping and steering you where you need to be. So it's one of those things. It's like you can't really go and change everything, because again, things in my life and what I've had to deal with, if I wanted to clear all that out, I wouldn't be where I am if I hadn't had the experiences I had.
Right.
This is a schoolhouse, and it helps us understand there is going to be that dualistic type of system. We're merging in and we're trying to raise our vibration to move that out of that, but we're still in it, at least a portion of it.
As we move more into, the essence of being an energy source, a light energy source, which we all are, but moving into that vibration, we still have so much conditioning and programming in our world and what we might have been raised with that we lock things so much into the physical reality. So I love how you approach this, though, is that we don't know what the human potential is. My mentor always says we are human becomings. We don't even know what we're going to end up being, because every day we could become something different, and our consciousness can expand and we can grow and change. And I'm excited to bring all of these ideas, all of this technology to this Starseed retreat we're having, because this is where we get to actually talk about it in detail. We get to actually explore the nuances of what this means for us, and how we can move our vibrations to more as an energy of light. I'm so excited to be working with you. This is going to be awesome, Pete.
For the retreat, I believe we're going to be putting in Nubian pyramid and some tensor rings and the anklets and all the tools with us so that we can have it, so that you guys can experience and understand what the tools can do.
Yes.
They're extremely powerful.
Excellent. I'm
Awesome.
looking forward to it. Could be vibing with it.
Oh, yeah.
In that capacity, can you set those frequencies up, the intent to become even more of a refined healer? To maybe work with other energies that you weren't aware of in the regular state of mind, but through the technology can connect with?
I would say yes. Again, you need to actually understand who you are and what your vibration rate is. It's like what your vibration is. Once you understand your energy, let's just say I'm multi-layered, I got anklets on, I got a pendant on, I got 2 layers of energy. Now I know who I am and I know my energy field. And being around Vivian, my energy goes up even higher just because of who she is. When we go out into the environment, we are challenged by the environment we hit into. Going into into a public place, there's a lot of competing narratives of popular society, whether it's iPhones or this bling or that kind of outfit or whatever it is. And then you have all these people with their different mindsets. They're all very grounded in the 3D. So it's really hard to keep your energy up. So in order to understand that, once you actually keep your vibration at a certain level, you don't have to let that impact you.
Right.
And then from there, you can actually keep yourself, like you were saying, in your morning meditation. How do I continuously bring myself into a higher vibrational state like I do in my meditation? Exactly the way you do. So basically tell the pendant to actually, okay, do your meditation. And while you're in that state, okay, pendant, record this. This is the vibration I want to be in all the time. And it'll allow you to do that.
With that Tensor technology, can you soul trace some of your other lives on other planets? Some of those beings that you have your intergalactic family or galactic family to connect with, now becoming that inner space astronaut.
Well, the Unity ring that the anklets are made from, the third attribute for it, which I don't normally bring up, but it is actually soul shard retrieval.
Excellent.
So the more you wear them, the more little pieces of energy that you've left over multiple lifetimes, and it could be thousands of them. You'll start retrieving energy from those lifetimes, right? So the more you integrate that energy, the more you'll become aware.
That's what I'm talking about, the expansion.
Yeah.
And that also is what I'm excited about bringing to the Starseed retreat, because I think all of us individually who are instructing this retreat have come together in different ways, but we're all doing that work where we're retrieving all these pieces of our soul or collective memories, essences, energies. And a lot of them are the starseeds. A lot of them are different races and different technologies and different levels of consciousness. And when we can learn how to embody that and be that. And I love how quantum this feels, because every time you were talking about it, you're talking about holding a quantum field of energy all the time. Not just when you're receiving a healing session, not just when you're having a good day, but it's 24/7. Let's vibrate at the most optimum potency of my energy field. And if you can maintain that, and then of course support it with the pendants and the Tensor energy tools, and you can maintain that vibration, people don't even know what they're going to become after they have a taste of their own energy, right?
Yep. Yeah, because once you actually can understand how far you can go, you want to go further. It's just one of those things. You take one step, I want to go one more, and then another one, and you just keep on going down the path. It's just like, you can't see how far, you can't see past where your headlights are, right? It's like, what is that? Jack Canfield.
That's
it's like, when you're driving at night, you can't see past your headlights, but you keep driving anyway, right? Yep. That's where we are.
If you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, then light that biatch up. What the? I think being able to shine our own light, that inner beingness of who we are, that can really amplify. And for myself, I love discovering even more of who I am. But I've started to merge with other me's, other dimensional me's. Can you use some of this technology to connect with those, to unify even more effectively?
Yes. What's his name? Daniken?
Okay.
Do you remember Daniken?
I think so, yes.
The lightning guy who got hit multiple times by lightning? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So we were in San Mateo, right? We had the conference, Life Expo, a couple of weeks back. And I had Vivian's super pendant with a multi-dimensional one. And he put it on. You can see it a lot more very easily. And he put it on here. It's like, I can see a couple dimensions on this side, and I can see a couple dimensions on this side, and you can see all these different versions of everything right here. So that one is like, that pendant is something you would want to wear if you're meditating. Realistically, if you want to really go for a ride, and then, oh yeah.
And no limit to how interdimensional you can go.
No, there's no limit on it. It's just how far you're ready to go is pretty much where your higher self will limit that. That's about it.
I think being able to have this body, this human body in this case, hold that higher vibrational pattern, because otherwise, for me, that heart will stop and your body will drop, man. It can't hold those higher frequencies. So that acclimation is huge.
Yeah, and that's part of what we were talking about earlier. It's like when you raise your vibration, if your physical body's not ready for it, it gets you tired. So you have to actually keep your vibration high enough and then let your body get used to that vibration. Then it's like turn up the volume a little bit more, get used to it. Turn up the volume a little bit more, get used to it. And that's all the same thing as our body's doing.
Yeah, and I call those energy breakthroughs. I think we start this lifetime with a certain amount of life force energy. I do believe the soul connects to the physical vehicle and the root chakra, and that's where you're just plugged in, like a plug in the socket. But you can tap into more energy as you grow and expand and can hold higher vibrations and frequencies. And I think that's where the human potential is kind of growing into, reaching into, expanding into. And again, these are energy breakthroughs. And I look at it as a cycle of life. In the cycle of any energy, you always have this feeling that you're going to explode right before you explode, right? So like, let me out of the cage. I need more room. And then all of a sudden your energy goes, and it expands. And then it takes a moment and then you're high as a kite, right? Because your energy is just like, whoa. And then you get used to it and then it's normal. And then you're like, well, where did that feeling go? And it's not like you left. It's just that you acclimated to that energy level. And then this cycle happens over and over and over again. Yeah. And it is a triple cycle of energetic breakthroughs that I have seen every human go through, who are tapping into and accessing more of their soul energy and more of their life force energy.
Yeah, exactly.
With that technology, is it possible to create a clearer frequency to your higher self, to your oversoul, and to get from that overall attainment to now begin to go more and more beyond it?
I think that multidimensional pendant is that. So the multidimensional pendant actually has 3 different rings in it. So one of the rings is the unity ring, allowing you to stay grounded. So you're still physically here. It grounds your physical being and it grounds your energy. But it also balances your chakras so that you can actually align the energy field. And allows you to bring in more access to your energy from previous lifetimes, right? The soul shards. It's made it's got a resonant cubit in it, which is more of like a higher enabling, really, it's this one right here. This is what this one's made out of.
Beautiful.
Yeah, this one's Archangel Michael, and it actually has Archangel Michael shield in the middle of it. For some reason, it's not focusing, but okay.
I can see that. I can see that. What's interesting is I do work with Archangel Michael and some other angels and other frequencies in doing what I do. I want to do some scientific studies where we can take this to the next level and be more scientific.
Metatron came to me 6 years ago to make the anklet. He channeled message. He came in. It's like, I need an anklet. It's got to be in a tensor ring. These 5 crystals. It has to have the copper mesh over it to encase it. And that is going to isolate your frequency from others and basically from buildings and the planet and everything else. It just isolates your frequencies.
Did you ever ask Archangel Michael why he came to you out of all the people?
Well, Metatron came for the anklets.
Metatron as well? But Archangel Michael, I believe you also work with.
Well, Michael, I'm in his lineage according to the Akashic record understandings. So, he just came through and basically, it's like,
Anywho,
how you doing?
Family,
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And for yourself in working with this technology, has that furthered your spiritual awareness, your awakening?
Yeah, it has. So when I first started creating the tensor rings, it was open source instructions and stuff like that. When I first started making them, I was following the instructions perfectly, but they wouldn't work. The energy just wasn't there.
Why?
I wasn't there yet. My intentions, my energy was not aligned with them yet. And it took about 6 months for me to actually continue doing research and understanding and working on meditation and other stuff like that. And then eventually, as I started feeling more of myself doing sound baths and doing meditations and having healings and all that. Eventually everything started coming together, and then they started working. And it was just like, oh, cool.
So now we're seeing possibly on the inside is reflected on the outside. If you're not quite as clear, it may not be working as effectively.
Correct. And one of the things it's like, as we're talking, it's like all these people are coming out and understanding, or at least waking up. That's what these kind of tools are for, is, people that have no clue. They just woke up. They don't understand it, but they know when they watch a video of yours, or when they're watching a video of Vivian's or somebody else doing the spiritual work, it's like, that resonates, but I don't know why.
Right.
And they're starting to understand it. And that's what these will help them protect their own energy, or, oh, this is who I am. Okay. Now what else is there? And then they continue to research.
Yeah. And we hear from a lot of our listeners, and they're like, love your podcast, listen to every show, but I don't even know where to begin. And so it's really cool that like the Tensor energy tools is a place where they could be supported. They could begin with, okay, start with pulling your energy back into yourself. We always talk about it's all about you, go within, go within, go within. And this is something that can actually facilitate that for people. This is beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing the Tensor energy tools. This is awesome.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, the Metatrons are the ideal tool for like somebody coming into the energy work, whether it's the Metatron anklets or the Metatron pendant. It'll allow you to understand who you are and your energy.
Nice.
And then once you actually want to move up a little bit, the Archangel Michael pendant, which actually has the turquoise, which is calming, the green mica, which is heart healing, and then of course the selenite, which is energy clearing. That one, when you put it on, is actually, you can actually just get very, it's like, oh, that feels good. It's like a chill, calming effect. So it's really nice. So it's just a different level of where you're going. And then, of course, the multidimensional one is when you really start getting into meditation, for what you guys are doing. You put that on and then, go for a meditation. Yeah, have fun with that one.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing. If you've got the connection and technology with Archangel Michael and other angels and many others, what about JC? What about other ascended masters from other worlds, other dimensions that maybe we're not aware of yet?
More than likely, they'll come through.
Short for Jesus.
Yeah, for me, I call him JC, Jesus. Jesus.
Yeah, well, he's Arcturian, so yes.
Isn't it interesting?
Yep.
Yeah, and on a universal scale.
Yes. Yeah. As far as those energies are concerned, yes. It's just a matter of when you connect or how you connect with him, you can.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
and and the fun part about all that is once you understand who you are and you start meditating and get your mind quiet and stop letting the noise override everything and allow yourself to just be quiet and calm, you can connect to anybody, ascended master, Jesus Christ, anywhere, anytime, because we are one with the entire universe. There is no time and space. It's just anywhere, anytime you can connect.
Yeah, I always say in a cosmic way, we're all the same age. One.
Yeah. So how can our listeners check out these amazing pendants and look to purchase one and find more about you and infinite healing from the stars and the energies of service?
Okay. Well, the energiesofservice.com is the webpage. It's in the middle of transition right now. It's a storefront primarily. It has a little bit of text in there, not a lot. We're looking to expand the main page and stuff like that right now. And I'm working to consolidate the information on the source information for Tensor technology and the story behind the Metatron and stuff like that. I want to get that on the page so people can actually read it and understand it. So, just to satisfy the logical mind that wants to understand the tools, because the tools are very much, experiential. And that's the hardest thing to do, is teach people or explain to people in like a video like this. It's like what they do. How do you feel? It's like you put it on. It's just like, oh, that's new. It's like, okay, I feel that. And that's how people feel about the tools. So it's really, it's the hardest part of these tools, is trying to get people to understand what they will do for them, because everybody's different.
Right.
But that's the versatility of it. No one's the same physically. They're not going to be the same metaphysically. That's beautiful.
Right. Exactly. Yeah,
and then
exactly
also, and people can come to the retreat if they want to try it, and then also check out your website for where you're going to be, because I know you bring these with you when you travel to the conferences, internationally. So,
we bring not a full sort, but a lot of tools with us when we travel, the anklets and pendants and stuff like that.
what I'm picking up from a little bit of your team is they're going to give you some more technology designs to become even clearer with the channeling.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It's going to get stronger. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good. Congratulations.
No, thank you.
We are looking forward to presenting with you. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. The tools are really there. And like I was saying, it's the really hardest thing I can do is try to explain to somebody over a podcast, other than this is what it'll do. But when they put it on, it's just like a completely different, it's an understanding. It's just like,
good.
I can't tell you how your meditation went because it's not my meditation, it's your meditation. And it's just like how the pendants and the tools actually interact with you are completely unique to the individual. I mean, we've had people completely left brain try to put stuff on. It's like, I feel nothing. That is you. You're going to be in 3D for a while. So enjoy the ride. It's just like.
And they're allowed to be. It's like, right. If that's where you are, great. Love you.
Absolutely.
Have you gotten into an ability where through the technology, bless you, that healers are wanting to amplify? Maybe they're wanting to amplify the Reiki or the quantum healing or, whatever the case is. Are there any technologies for that frequency?
And it's basically a Reiki and a hand tool.
Cool. I love it. That's great.
Well, everything is like the torsion field. So you have like a torsion field with energy going in one direction, right? And that's what this is.
Nice.
That's nice. Can you put that in your pocket or how does that work? Ooh, I like that.
Well, you got to figure that out compared to my hand. That's how big it is. So
okay. Yeah, perfect. That'll fit in the pocket.
Fit in the pocket. Yep.
Excellent.
And it has an energy output and an energy in. So if you wanted to actually pull like an ache or pain, you can pull it out. But I tell people, don't pull the ache or pain, pull the source of that.
Right.
Yeah, not the
energy
reaction.
Source. Right. Not the actual outcome in the physical. You want to remove the problem and let the body just rebalance.
Right.
Beautiful.
Yeah, no, these things have been crazy powerful for a lot of people. And
see, that's what I'm saying. You're holding and touching these. You're vibing with that energy frequency. Unify all of those channels together, creating new technology, more effective facilitation. That's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Well, we got
nice
some
work.
tools. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sure a lot more to come. Big time.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for today.
We'd love to have you back at another time.
Oh, yeah. You can have me back anytime you want.
Hey guys, it's Jamie and Maggie Clark with Psychic Evolution. We want to share an upcoming Starseed Awakening retreat.
We're teaming up with Infinite Healing from the Stars. That's Vivian Chavette, an Arcturian hybrid, and Peter Benson with Tensor Energy Tools. And we're joining them for a weekend retreat in Phoenix, Arizona, July 22nd through 24th of 2022. And we're here to assist you in discovering your purpose as a starseed and how to align and activate your starseed DNA. Let the ascension begin with this multidimensional, intergalactic, and interactive journey. Included will be Arcturian holographic healing, ancestral starseed mediumship, planetary grid realignment, and exercises to embody your starseed DNA. You are cosmic celestial energy. Visit jamieclark.net to register and for more information. We look forward to gathering with like-minded starseeds.
Free your inner space astronaut and immerse yourself in your starseed heritage.
And for our podcast listeners, we do have a coupon code to take $75 off your registration at checkout. Enter the coupon code INTERGALACTIC and pay attention at checkout to see what your total is because the language of the universe is always speaking to you. If you have been enjoying this podcast, we please ask that you go to Apple Podcasts and go ahead and rate this podcast. Leave us an awesome review. We really appreciate your reviews. They mean a lot to us, and thank you so much. If you are listening to this on something other than Apple Podcasts, you can leave a review on our website. We also have a little microphone on the bottom right-hand corner of our website. If you want to ask a question and leave us a question, it will be a voicemail recorded. We'll play back your voice on this podcast and answer your questions. If we can get to them all, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We love you guys.
Love and light, and we'll see you in our psychic evolution.